Common sense buffs. It's been a long time. I shouldn't have left you without some dope content to react to. We're back again for another Thursday roster analysis video. And this time we're taking on the defense. And the more I see this team play together, especially after what I saw at the black and gold game, I am more confident that Boulder has a defense. All right. So we're going to jump right into this thing without much delay. You know, we got to get into the trenches right off the top. And Balansama Kamara, I love his post Ramadan form right now. We all know that he was fasting during Ramadan. He got off to a slow start in the spring, but now is peaking at the right time. I'm going to go ahead and give him a gold star. I think he has firmly worked himself into that one rotation. Next to him, somebody who had a pretty good spring game is Santana Hopper. He was being disruptive. He was getting into the backfield. He was causing problems and creating tackles for loss. Love to see Santana Hopper really getting out there and making plays. Also, I was pleasantly surprised but excited to see Ezra Christensen, who there's been questions about eligibility. It was good to see him participating in that spring game. Hopefully, that portends well for his eligibility issues to be cleared up in time for the season. So love to see Ezra. And man, my favorite guy on the D line, Mr. Consistent, and soon to be Mr. Dominant in the Big 12, none other than Toby Anene. I love this starting front four. All right. Now, to back them up and firmly in the rotation is going to be Manny Eziogu, the 4-4. He runs a 4-4-40 defensive end, giving you some speed off the edge with Quincy Wiggins and Sam Moo, another guy who has worked his way up throughout the spring. I think he's getting into better shape, probably leaning out, and is also able to be that force in the middle, right? Commanding more than one block at a time, and hopefully could be really disruptive in the run game for us. I like the improvements that we're seeing here. I'll probably switch these two guys out, Cedric Smith and Dylan Manuel. I think both of them, and the plus 300-pound guys, because we always talk about size when we talk about Colorado, especially when we talk about this defensive line. We want to see those guys that are plus 300 also continue to develop and be disruptive at the line of scrimmage. And then I love what I saw from Kylan Salter as well. I think he's a guy that's really coming into his own, playing that edge rusher position. I think it was a solid move for him, especially with this linebacker room that they have right now in Boulder. This is really going to give Kylan Salter an opportunity to play. Vili Tafa-Tafua continues to come along. I've heard good things about Yamil Talib. And don't sleep on Lamont Lester. I only have this here as a rotation, but these are the guys I think that are going to be playing meaningful minutes in this this two deep on the defensive line. So love what I saw there. Now let's go to the outside. I had Justin Eaglin here as my starter. I'm willing now at this point to move Cree Thomas into that starting role. He's been making plays all spring. I think he has firmly solidified his position as the starting cornerback here. I'm going to go ahead and give him a gold star. Boo Carter played outside during the spring game, but I do not think he's going to make that move if he does at this point. I think he's still going to be very impactful at that nickel spot in terms of that covering the shiftiest guy on the field. I think he's one of the best cover guys that we have on this team, and you need him on that kind of quick, high twitch wide receiver until somebody else emerges that can really handle that nickel position. So I like Boo Carter there. I think RJ Johnson is still the starter opposite Cree Thomas, but I really like the outstanding freshman Mo Williams. I really like what Mo Williams is doing. Now, another guy that I'm not necessarily moving up, but I think is making plays, and I love a comeback story, is Makari Seatbelt Vickers. Watch out for Makari here. If he continues to make plays, continues to shore up his play in coverage as well in run support, we could see Makari Vickers make a move here sooner or later. So I love what we have in the DB room. I think this lineup of Cree Thomas, Boo Carter, RJ Johnson, potentially Mo Williams. I'm telling you guys, I really like Mo Williams at cornerback. I think he has the potential to be the second, third. I mean, Cree Thomas is out there, Boo Carter potentially, but I mean, he's in that top five of corners in the Coach Prime era. I really think junior season, Mojo Williams is going to be an All American. If he stays with Colorado for the next 3 seasons as a junior, stamp it right now, Mojo Williams is going to be an All American. Also, like the what I'm seeing from Emory Floyd, he's coming along as well. Of course, Jason Stokes is also playing. I really, really like the DBs that we have, the corners that we have. Of course, don't want to forget about Preston Ashley. I think he's developing well behind Boo Carter. In the nickel, of course, Stevenson and Cole Mathis round out our nickels. At free safety, I think he's firmly solidified himself as the starters. Naeten Mitchell, Mr. Turnovers himself. Love to see a guy playing in that secondary who's willing to create turnovers. I think he's backed up by a very exciting freshman here in Braylon Edwards. Had some really high hopes for Jaden Hardy going into the spring practice, but Braylon Edwards and Naeten Mitchell have really developed and come along pretty quickly, and they're making plays in this offense. There was a moment there where I was thinking Jaja Boyd was making a move where he could overtake Randon Fontenette, but that is not the case. Randon Fontenette is clearly the starting safety, and I think over the last 2 or 3 weeks, maybe more so 2 weeks, he's having some of his best practices to date, and I think he had a pretty good spring game. So I'm going to go ahead and give him a gold star, my first gold star to Randon Fontenette. But I love Jaja Boyd. Now, I was watching David Talks Buffs, and he was talking about maybe moving Boo to the outside, right? Maybe replacing an RJ Johnson, Boo Carter opposite Cree Thomas, with Jaja Boyd moving down into the slot. We will see. One spring ball practice does not convince me that they're ready to make that big of a move. I think Paul Omadia can benefit from having that flexibility, versatility to play many roles in the secondary, but I have him here behind both Randon Fontenette, Jaja Boyd. All right, let's get to this linebacker room. I think the moves that we made were excellent, right? I think we got a solid linebacker room. Of course, Coach Marv is going to continue to coach them up, but I really love what I saw from Tyler Martinez in the spring game. Of course, Gideon Lampron is Mr. Consistency. And I also like what I saw from Liona Lefau. He didn't make every play, but I loved his sideline to sideline range and his short tackling as well. Didn't see much of Gage Goldberg in that game. I saw pops of Bo LaPena and Carson Crawford, as well as Rodney Colton. And I believe Kobe Johnson might be on IR right now. But overall, guys, that is my current defensive lineup for your Colorado Buffaloes. Balansama Kamara, Santana Hopper, Ezra Christensen, and Toby Anene is our front four. Cree Thomas, Boo Carter, RJ Johnson are cornerbacks in nickel. Naeten Mitchell and Randon Fontenette are your safeties. And then Tyler Martinez and Gideon Lampron are your linebackers. Let me know in the comments, what do you think? Am I far off? Do you have a different roster? Please let me know in the comments. And if you've gotten to this point in the video, you're not subscribed, please go ahead and do so. We are on our way to 1,000 subscribers. All right. So until next time, peace.